everyone. It is Tuesday, December 9th? 9th, 2025. This is a meeting of the Bolton Advisory Committee. Okay, our annual in-person meeting, so thanks for coming out in person to meet. A pretty light agenda, but probably a lot of discussion. So we'll talk a little bit about, I want to talk a little bit about how we did planning the FY25 budget, actually 2 years ago. Take a quick look at what we're looking at for FY27, and then we'll talk through some the capital plan again, and then we have one transfer request to consider. Okay? All right, so I did this last year too. I just did a look back to FY25. After, we went through all of our planning, we had the actuals for 25, just to look through kind of how did we do, how did our planning line up with what was actually spent. This is sort of what was in the budget in advance in terms of expected revenue, expected expenditures, and the second row are actuals, and then you can see the difference. Now, the revenue column, be aware that $2 million of that is the override, right? Because when we initially budgeted, it did not include the override. So the actual additional revenue was an additional $700K or so. The expenditure side, we spent less than what we budgeted by about $800K. Great. And I'll show you where that came from. So we missed by like 2.7%. The previous year we were much, much closer, and I thought, oh wow, what a great, we got this down, it's great, but maybe it was an anomaly. And maybe this is more different. Okay, anyway, so I took all, which you can't read here. Don't worry about it. You don't need to, I'll have more details. But I plotted like all of the different lines in the budget, and I sorted them by value. So the ones on the left, that's how we had excess budgeted, and the ones on the right, we were short. And I'll show you just some of the, not everything, but just some of the larger ones on both the left and the right. Sure. So here's where we budgeted more than what we needed by at least 20,000. So police, we over budgeted by almost 340,000. And it was, as far as I could tell, and this is by looking through where the expenditures fell out and everything. As far as I could tell, wages came in a little less than anticipated, and the cruiser equipment actually cost a little less than anticipated.
Because we had probably budgeted for a higher chief salary, and then when Luke took over.
Yes, and maybe, I don't know, maybe we hired someone partway through the year as well.
Yeah, and we had a ton of turnover. That was our biggest ton of turnover.
Yep. Highway wages were a little less than expected, and repairs came in less than what we budgeted.
That's interesting.
Yep. Wow. Building inspector was over by 106,000, I believe, because we planned on an assistant. It didn't happen in FY25.
That, I think, was the 580 Main.
Yeah, so
the $100,000 that we had put in. And because initially, DOR told us we had to put it in as revenue and put it in as an expense, so a net. But then we ended up doing just a side peer review, so none of the money came like it didn't materialize the way that we thought it was going to. So that won't happen again.
Yeah. Okay. Health insurance came in less than what we thought, which that's great.
Yeah.
Construction and maintenance was almost 50K less than what we budgeted. Local improvements came in less than what.
That's typical.
County administrator was a little less, I think, than
budgeted for the former GA.
Yep.
Okay. And the transportation was less than town clerk was less. What's interesting, I think, is that the 5 with the red arrow were also in our top 5 where we over budgeted in FY24. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens in 26, but I think we should take a look at especially highway and construction and maintenance and see if, either we're not budgeting right or we should just be spending more than money.
Yes.
Or conversely though, because we always under budget snow and ice, and it's to about 245K, we're reliant upon some of the guaranteed turnbacks.
It
Or we could, raise it on retail.
We could consider trying to get like a weighted average factor, that assume the police are gonna continue to have the turnover, et cetera. If we, at full, if we're coming in at 97% of full, maybe we should take whatever comes and say 97% of that.
And to Marie's point, like, do you want to generate excess to cover snow and ice? Or if you don't need it for snow and ice, it's excess free cash. So
Right, yes.
it's or do you try to get as close as you can?
Right, or is there
Different
more
schools
we
of
could
thought.
be doing, are we being too conservative in doing some of these repairs? Because we're hanging on to money when maybe we could be
Right.
doing more.
I wonder what this would look like if instead of the dollar amount being shown here, if it was a percent of the budget item.
Oh, I have that. That's coming up. Thank you, Phil. Okay, so first, that was the, where we budgeted over, this is where we were short.
I bet you the health and stuff too relates to the less wages.
100%. Or turnover, maybe somebody had a family plan and left, and you can never anticipate who's gonna take family plans versus whatever.
Our favorite.
If only we could.
Services.
So, right, here we go, this is where we were short. Snow and ice, that typical, that's expected, happens every year. The other two, we had transfer requests to cover these. That's where we made it up. Okay,
Have we wrapped up our big legal things that we know?
No, one of them, though, if you're aware, the select board has accepted the deed to moderator, which had been something that's been hanging out there, and now work is being done. But our other large legal things, no.
Okay, I missed all the Myrick and O'Connell whoops.
But don't worry, you'll see that.
You're getting,
I think we're already burning through the legal budget.
Yeah.
We haven't quite crossed the threshold yet. Okay, so here it is, sorted by percentages. Again, the ones on the left, which you can't read, are excess, the ones on the right are deficit. Okay, and here are the details. So this is by percent. The first one, we actually ended up with more money than we,
So I probably I'm sure it was a timing thing where there might have been a refund or like if somebody left and we got a refund, I'm sure. Close enough.
It was a small.
Yeah.
And so some of the same items show up here. Building inspector shows up here.
Yeah, that building inspector is an anomaly because of high reading name.
So a couple that I thought were interesting. So economic development.
We talk about this every year, right?
Yes,
Like,
every year it seems like we only budget them like $750.
Right.
It's not easy.
I almost feel like we should roll it that and, I don't know. We have so many departments, like could that just be in planning as line items?
Sure.
Economic development line item, zoning line
Sure.
item.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is there more? Could we be spending more? Could we be spending more?
I think the zoning is for like advertising if you happen to have,
Yeah.
Pam can speak to that better, but. And the economic development, like they have a lunch and a breakfast or something.
Yeah. So the cemetery one was interesting because we had a discussion and I think we bumped up the cemetery
Yeah.
budget because grounds maintenance was gonna cost us quite a bit more and we didn't spend it. So, I think we'll just take a look at that this year.
I think those are good questions to ask the department, why they didn't have them.
Anyway, that's the over budget, and here's where we fell short. And, these were, again, all things.
Unemployment, you'll never be able to guess.
Right, and these are all things we had transfer requests for.
Right.
Last year.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well monitoring, I think, was a surprise.
well monitoring was
All
one
of a
of the
sudden.
things.
I think that's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
continue to be.
So anyway, that's it. I just wanted to give us a little recap on how we do. All in all, with a $30 million budget or so, I think we did pretty
Yeah, I do too.
I think we came in pretty close. Okay, any questions on that? All right, next item So, I thought we would, can we see this well enough? I thought we would talk
Blurry.
a little bit.
Is there a way to have like a focus on it?
Usually does, but it's the fact that it's tilted, not the,
With your phone?
I don't need it.
We set it on this whole thing.
Yeah, that's so.
Can we budget first, Sam?
Yeah, we need like a proper, I agree.
I have a box.
I feel like IT should do something like this.
Maybe that's why the box is even.
Why does it never seem to get any higher?
Maybe on that.
It's almost going lower. How that is interesting.
Why is it not getting?
We've got alert Bill Nye, we've got physics going on here.
Alright, there's, yeah, this
It's
is.
like
we're
a
getting
mystery
there.
spot.
I mean,
It can't, well, because it was working when it was
Bolton
before.
triangle.
Try that.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's not, it's not a height thing, clearly. Because it doesn't matter, if you put it on the desk, it's still.
That's perfect.
we actually.
Oh, so it has to be further away.
Yeah.
There's a focus on that.
There's gotta be a focus button.
We pulled the table, maybe? That was
There's gonna be a sweet spot.
like right about there.
Okay.
We could,
I'll just stay here.
How about
If
this,
I need it, I'll work
what
out.
about this folding table?
For the ladder.
Sure.
There's a ladder?
of course.
This is hilarious.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna have to edit this out.
Yeah, really important.
Make it people watch this.
Can I help you, Maria?
I think this is something that we should invest in.
I think you just need a smart TV that can plug a laptop.
That's what I
into.
think, so I think this whole projector,
Alright.
A Roku TV costs $200 and you could just plug in HDMI for it.
I couldn't agree more.
Can we spend economic
I will
development
personally
money?
buy the TV for
Yeah, that's a
$200.
great point. Just get a new TV.
If you reverse it the other way
Instead of
with
the
the
projector and the screen, just get a smart TV.
No.
Oh, but it's back. How is it cheap? Fascinating, yeah.
Well, just put these on the front of the projector.
Not bad.
Slide, I know. Wow.
It's like Jenga.
Under the front might be better.
Hey, if you move it further back. Like move the ladder to the.
Keep going, keep going this way.
Yeah. I think if we move the ladder back.
Yeah, like move the whole ladder back.
I'll just make it bigger.
Yeah, now it's good for those.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Okay, just put it right in front of the projector.
So TV, right?
TV.
We're all buying a TV?
I think MIS, we should contact. Will you approve or reserve fund?
Okay, there we go.
Alright, somebody should just stand behind it so when it falls over. No, it must have a focus button.
Yeah, I found
Doing
the
the
focus
focus. You just need somebody tall.
How do you do that?
I think it was
I think if you just hit the OK button in the middle. Yeah, okay. Good, we're in business.
That's as good as we're in.
Close enough?
Yeah, I'll just sit over here now.
It's kind of blurry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need this.
Oh my God.
Oh, wait, no, this is my computer, sorry, no.
Okay.
Mistake.
Is that the budgeting path through the woods? Paul?
There's gotta be.
Looks like some trees will come out and grass.
Okay, maybe, we should move on to capital, yeah, I don't know. Oh, there. Okay, all right. FY '27, preliminary look, this is hot off the presses. The department budgets are still, well, they were just due, so maybe there's still some flux. So I think here's what we're looking at. On the revenue side, it looks like last year we had 34.4, call it million. And this year we're looking at 34.7. Although I don't know if this fully captures what we're expecting in new growth.
Not at all.
Initial.
Nope, that had like the same 155.
Right, which is, what do you think, Murray? What are we looking at?
When Neshoba is complete, it'll be about 700K. It will be complete during this fiscal year.
So we should get the full.
So I'm not sure if it would be rolled into for the supplemental bill within fiscal '26, or if it would be, you know what I mean, what portion they would count as new growth.
Right, so some might get prorated into,
Right.
so, I mean, if we assume half,
Yeah,
that's 350K additional. So we're looking at, you know, just addition of,
The most new growth we've had in
yeah, right.
8 years or something.
So it's like 1.2 million or so beyond what we expected in FY '26. Okay, and then we roll down to expenditures, and it looks like we're expecting in '26 34.4, and it looks like initial estimates from the department budgets are at about 35. So that's an additional 600.
This is with an assumption of 3.5 for the school. So anything, if they go higher than 3.5.
Or if they go less.
Yeah,
and is it 3.5 all in, or just 3.5 on their operating?
just their operating, because then the excluded would
Yeah.
equal itself.
Excluded.
So I think at first blush, and again, there's a lot more details that we're gonna have to work through over the next few months. At first blush, it looks like we'll have maybe a slight excess for '27.
All depends on capital, what you're gonna borrow.
Well, right,
If
no,
you're
that's the
gonna
next
borrow.
discussion, right? If we have, yeah.
Right. If you borrowed no other items, you'd save some in debt, but I don't think we wanna do that. I think we wanna try to keep debt flat.
Sorry, your red number, you're saying $346,000 in excess.
No.
Right now, it's in the hole.
no,
Okay,
right now
all
it's
right,
a
I
whole-
just wanted to double check.
Right, but we haven't accounted for the 750K or so that we expect to get in
Okay.
new growth. So, you know, a few hundred K.
We're good.
No, we're good. We're good.
You can go.
Well, that override, I mean, that's baked in.
Yeah, right, that's baked in here, and, you know, which is what we said last year, that's what's giving us the flexibility to do some things. Yep.
It'd be nice to have some access.
Yeah, for sure, I mean, we have the capital stabilization fund, that it would be nice to be able to see that with some money, we have
Right.
excess, and to build up some free cash reserves.
So the revenue projections, did it include the full local receipts or the local receipts less meals and excise?
Full.
Here's the revenue tab.
Because the question still for this board, did we want for town meeting to dedicate meals and rooms excise to capital stabilization?
Right.
It's about 60-ish.
Right, so that would be,
Right, 70.
You have to make some assumptions.
77 years what we assume. Yep. Okay. All right, good. So,
so the cannabis money is gonna get knocked in half on that. too. I haven't changed that yet either. So it'll be fine later.
yeah, I mean, at one point, weren't we assuming something crazy?
Yeah,
200,000?
so even 72 is too, like,
Yeah, sorry, where are we getting cannabis revenue from?
the pot shop by the country cupboard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't know there
Their
was a
sales
pot
were,
shop at the country cupboard.
get on that, yes, buy
Paid
some.
off.
So unfortunately, sales are lower than the anticipated.
Yeah, I think that's great. Okay, so anyway, you know, we'll work through the details over the next few months. That's really
And we don't have health insurance numbers, that's projected to be, I only did a 10% increase, or no, maybe I did higher, 20. But that's gonna be crazy. It will definitely swing, this is just, you know, super preliminary.
Okay, but not, we don't have the same sense that we did at this point last year, which was, oh my God. True. What are we gonna do?
But I do wanna make a point that this is a one-time new growth. You know, this is not, like, we still have to
Be very good.
fix our revenue side.
Yes.
And in effect, we'll have the year of the new growth without any immediate cost impacts. Well, there'll be growing cost impacts in terms of first response. You know, but
Sure, yep. Okay, so I think that brings us into the capital plan, right, that we can,
I am old school and I brought hard copies.
I love that.
I know, especially.
Yeah.
Please take those. Take them.
do you have a target number in mind of like, you know, how much you would like to allocate to capital spending?
Yes and no. Part of this was looking at the total free cash, which was the total one time, or for the most part, one time, of 2.3, holding back $450,000. And then, on the advice of Minachka, and then also looking through the financial policies, was given that that total free cash is greater than 5% of the operating budget. Some amount, either 614K, we're looking at per year 731, sorry, reverse, or 731K just gets dedicated to that fund. There it sits. This leaves 1.1 million of capital. For that 1.1 million, my intent was not let's deplete it all
Right.
for all of these things. Being mindful of the almost $600,000 of vehicles that Randy wants for those 2 large trucks, and mindful that Randy said it's gonna be 18 months before we get them in.
Yep.
And we wouldn't pay in advance for anything, because that's Mass General law. With interest rates declining for a 10-year, if we look at it like a 10-year bond, I don't know, which we could carry internally at about 2.9 or 3%. Could we come up with 69K that just slides in and replaces our existing non-excluded debt on that debt tab of the Forbush that's rolling off, like 75K is rolling off this year? Could we just slide that in? You know what I mean, for our debt in successive years?
So ban part of it and then pay the rest free cash?
I wouldn't ban, I would encourage looking at, our advisor to say, do we ban it, or do we?
Can you describe banning it?
He'd say ban it. If it's too little, then bond.
Can you describe what you mean by ban? And
It's a bond anticipation note. It's one of the many financing vehicles that the state has. For the first 2 years, you're just paying.
It's every year,
Yeah, but
it's,
for the first 2 years, you're not paying
You just pay the principal and not
the
interest.
principal. Or
it
your
depends,
first-
you get to decide what your pay down is. You don't have to pay anything, or you can pay, like, some towns wanna pay it off in 3 years, so they divide it in threes and you can do whatever you want with it, but
it's
the
like a
interest,
loan for.
Right.
the interest rate is variable,
The
because
interest rate
it
is
changes every year.
Well,
So
we just see.
But bonding is very expensive, so you pay a high finance cost, but then you have a steady interest rate.
Okay,
But in effect of looking at, if I had to be pushed into a range, 700K-ish,
700K, okay.
through various financing mechanisms, but 700K-ish for fiscal
Okay, and is that,
27.
would vehicles have to come out of that, or you're saying we would set aside funds for the vehicles, so we still have 700K?
It'd be a question I want to broach with our financial advisor, because we wouldn't need, I mean, if you're not going to get something for 2 years,
Right.
it's silly to
Everybody's
start
money.
charging people, yeah, it's silly to, finance it, because in my experience, I've had ambulance companies go out of business and fire truck companies go out of business, and the timeline just gets drawn out.
Would we consider taking that amount of money and just moving into the capital stabilization fund and just agreeing that we don't want to touch it for 2
Yeah.
years?
Yes,
Yeah.
I like it, makes money, then you have it.
And then,
Right. And we have it when we need it. Okay. All right, so,
But you're counting that as part of the $700,000.
Yeah. Because you'd be reserving it out.
yeah, or reserving
Yeah.
payments. I mean, in effect, we've lost the 75K. We no longer have to carry 75K of non-excluded debt going forward. That's built into our levy.
Another option you could do is, because you have that excess 75, you could also pay down more of the fire trucks to add, just pay down another 75K on that instead of adding a new item to your ban list. We could just change our pay down number, which would be the easiest way to do it.
okay.
And then you pay those off faster.
Okay, so how do you want to proceed?
The largest concern I have, I believe that the 2 DPW trucks, that 591,000, should move forward. They've been deferred. One had been on for 23 and deferred. Both were there, at least I know, move forward in 24. They didn't make it 25. We were like bare bones. Nothing goes forward. For those, I feel confident both in the costs that are cited. They're not inflated. They're backed up by real live estimates. Jumping over police equipment, the car is built into the
Right.
levy. The $7,000 for their required transition of their radio system is a one-off, yes, yeah. That radio system has its end of life coming up.
So both of these items are in the operating.
Yeah.
Well, is the phone system in operating, or maybe it should be?
The phone system, the ongoing operating is something like 700 some. That's the one time at 7,000.
Should we
I
just
think it's
build
in
it?
the operating.
Yeah.
I think she put it in there.
$10,000 threshold?
Yeah, but she wasn't sure how to fit it in within. We don't do typically, unless we do small warrant articles of anything under 20K that are one-off. So you're not building it into the
Right.
operating budget, because it's a one-time thing.
I was thinking of putting it in the
Yeah.
operating budget. I thought we don't capitalize anything under 10.
Right.
We don't put one time into the operating.
Putting over 7K in though would sort of, for the successive year, let's say everyone is abducted by aliens, I don't want it to roll forward as the base.
Yeah.
So in 28, you don't want to say, oh, you got to spend $7,000 more.
You've got.
People do put one-time things in the operating budget though.
All right.
I call that squirreling, because then I do spend the $7,000 on something
Right.
So this is good.
Yeah.
You cut my budget by seven.
Okay, all
But
right.
within the facilities, I broached at the last select board meeting, the interest in knowing what we're doing with the town hall as well as the Houghton building. I know that Randy had gotten this quote for the Houghton building, sort of jumping over the DPW, for the Houghton building a couple of years ago, and he has just inflated the quote based on his estimate of inflation. My guesstimate is regardless of what the town decides to do with this building, we need to protect the building envelope. So there will be some, and that envelope repair as well as paint has not been addressed for years. So that would be moving forward, likely not at $100K.
I don't know how other folks do, but $100,000 to paint and repair siding.
I know how I feel about it. I would vote no as a taxpayer. No.
But it's not but as Randy had said, I'd asked them, I'd come up with this estimate for fiscal 24, and then I asked the guy, to revise the estimate for fiscal 20, for last year, planning for fiscal 25. So he didn't want to ask them again, year number 3, we're not really gonna move forward with this.
Right.
But I assume we'd get three bids on
Yeah,
it.
we'd get a real estimate, it would be a threshold that would go off of it anyway.
Right, but do you think it might come in close to 100,000? Oh,
What was the
No, I think
original
it would
quote
be-
in 24?
The quote was 70-something from a couple of
70.
years ago.
I still think that's insane, even
No,
with prevailing
but I don't,
wage.
one of the issues I think with this, and that was my initial gut, was like, hell, hire somebody,
Right,
hire another person at 50K
right,
and just have them do nothing but paint the building.
right.
I think he's oversimplified it. The last road is, what do they call it, a water course, there's a board along the whole lot, that's all gotta go.
To me, that
It is
goes into the
rough
whole
behind.
thing though, like how much
There's-
are we putting into this building?
Yeah. It's lead paint, so immediately the price, anybody who touches it's gotta do with lead.
It's just not
Lead abatement. Sorry? Oh, yeah. So there's calling it painting, I think, is not doing it.
Well, you're not gonna sell it by just saying it's
No.
painting, because everybody will have the same reaction.
The same, yeah.
Let's say envelope,
Right.
it's just envelope repairs and maintenance.
okay.
But I think that also goes into the whole, how much do you wanna spend to keep this building?
Yeah, sorry, so how much is it, what's the operating cost on this building? And then does this building, it doesn't have an ROI, right? It's not even
Oh,
paying
we're
for
losing
itself.
money, no, God, no.
How
No,
much money
it's
are
an
you losing
expense.
every year? You know?
Tens of thousands.
The rent covers the electric expenses, maybe some fraction of heat. For the wastewater, it's negligible, and the wastewater treatment costs are just sort of rolled into library and public safety. This is the third building on the wastewater list.
We get like $1,500 in revenue.
Yeah, but the revenue from the two paying tenants covers electric.
Yeah, I think from a purely economic standpoint, you'd say, no, it doesn't make sense, but it's an important building to the town
Is
for
it?
historic reasons, I think so.
Yeah.
But, so I think we have to proceed carefully and thoughtfully about what happens. At the end of the day, right, the decision is, how much do you sink into this?
Right.
Does the 100 include testing the paint? Or
Good
is
question.
it known that it is because Randy said he thinks it's that. That in itself.
That should be, yeah, I'd like an answer to that too.
I can't wait that he was convinced.
Yeah, but I don't know, he never said that, yes, it is.
Okay.
I would assume it is, but
That's a good question.
Okay, all right, so Marie, that's on your list too. What do you think about the library items, the roof and the mold?
I don't think we should remediate the mold until we can fix the problem that's creating it. I did talk to my engineer, and he thinks it might just be the cleaning, so I would be interested to see what the cleaning reports say from your HVAC vendor. Because he says that there could be mold in the coils, and they're not cleaning the coils frequently enough. And so it's actually just spewing out mold, it's not a condensation issue, it's an internal mechanism to the fan.
Okay.
So you could just solve it with preventative maintenance, but I would say we should find out the root cause
Yeah.
before we spend money
Before
to
I would agree.
remediate it.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And his answer that I don't know what caused it just killed me.
Yeah.
I'm overstating that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I didn't think that was a good answer, and it needs more investigation.
Yeah.
However, on the flip side of it, the fact that we're having mold problems in 2 server rooms tells me something's going on with the way we're setting them up. Personally, I don't know why we didn't have a dehumidifier in there before we even went, and why just, for $100.
Let's just say.
Yeah,
You know,
moisture reading
you
and a
always try it.
dehumidifier,
I'm sorry.
and moisture readings and a
Something,
dehumidifier, some kind of.
something small, something minor, but I felt the same way with, when we were talking about the library electric.
Yeah,
Under $100, I've got an energy monitoring system in my electrical panel. And
yeah.
why don't we know, so, I don't know. Those are all trouble. I'd love to see, I'd be fine with putting some money in there to get somebody that says, here's what the issues are.
It's something more investigatory
Yeah.
versus an
Yep.
Yeah.
My main interest, the one thing that had been on an earlier version and then disappeared from this was for the library for the J Sport. It was one word, failed. Then, as you know, through Randy and his reserve fund, and actually, he didn't ask for a reserve fund, he took it out of public buildings maintenance, because the existing board no longer supported,
That was the
Yeah.
HVAC
yeah,
control.
yeah, so.
What about the roof on the library?
That short little roof.
That's gonna be a tough one, because that's such a low angle roof. The cheapest roofing is asphalt shingles.
Right.
And that looks like it's at about as flat as it can ever possibly be for asphalt shingles. And that's what he's throwing at it. Now, I don't have a good alternative. But, yeah, we're gonna see that again in 10 years. It's
Yeah.
like,
My sense was we should probably do something because it was looking pretty rough.
I agree.
oh yeah, it looked awesome. Okay, in the pictures that he used.
But I don't know if I agree with Randy's thought process about not doing a rubber roof for aesthetic. I've driven by a couple times since then, and I don't think it would be bad to have a flat black rubber roof. I don't think that would be an eyesore that I personally would get hung up on, even knowing that I voted to put it there. It wouldn't bother me. I would rather the roof was the right kind of roof.
I'm
Yeah,
not sure what the taxpayers would
Yeah.
say, but
yeah,
I'm with you.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could say that it's actually lead
yeah.
instead.
Yeah.
Historic. No, it looks the same. So,
Yes.
It's the same, but it should be, we want something non-permeable, right? We want it to not
Yeah.
have to come back.
Okay, what else?
Fire station demolition, you know what, we're gonna demo it by neglect. I can't bring myself this year. No, I just can't,
Eventually it's.
yeah.
The notch demolition as a capital item? I'm surprised by that. I mean, if we were saying we're taking it down and putting something up, then yes, I would see it capitalized as
Right.
something we're putting up. But,
I mean, we couldn't borrow for it, it's not a.
okay. Yeah, I mean, just from an accounting perspective, I'm sorry, I'm geeking out on all you guys.
Yeah, no,
I'm like, don't remember.
I mean, I think capital, basically, maybe capital / one-time spend. You know what I mean? It's not a capital expenditure, but it's a
Maybe
one time. project,
I
like
guess
a
you
project
could.
cost, like something, a monetary article that we'd have to bring to town meeting.
Stuff like that, but I think it's kind of very,
Yeah, big.
come down like any day.
For,
Okay.
for the town hall, Brandy had sent me the plans for the egress, that's the emergency egress, and it's on my list to call up the fire chief and say, in terms of our existing structure, because we have to have 2 means of egress, does this work, can it limp along? The 250K, part of the reason why it's so expensive is because it is a freestanding thing which does not touch the building. Trying to jump around codes. That, I have a question still that I need resolved for life safety. For the town hall entrance, I would say no, because we're going down a path whereby we do the design so that we could bid it. Well, if we bid it, then we'd be required to make a whole bunch of upgrades to town hall.
I was surprised with this one, sorry to jump in, but we just spent 65K or something 2-3 years ago, or 100K to attach the front back to the building, and now.
Oh, the
Right,
columns?
the columns and all that
350,000.
stuff. Right. I can't believe I missed it, but whatever.
Yeah, it's
So
still
I'm
sits on my
surprised that we
craw.
have to do anything with the front at this point.
No, the front is the main entrance.
The
in
back.
Yeah, this is all.
Like it's not really the front, it's the back.
It's the back
Okay.
entrance, which is the main entrance.
Thank you.
So there's an issue
That
yes,
ramp?
with the ramp, the concrete
Yeah.
is separating,
Yeah.
the wall was moving.
Did you
closer
just
to
brace the
building.
bottom?
The concrete slab now I'm just stuck, once you know it, you can't unknow it, of seeing that gap. And so.
So just walk real fast. when
but-
you walk real
Yeah,
fast.
but
Okay.
I think that is not something that I would recommend going into because it leads you down a path that you may not want to be traveling.
And we're gonna take a more holistic and long-term look at both buildings and decide.
And if we spend anywhere near this amount of money, does this kick in that we need to be ADA compliant?
The design cost, which is what's carried in the plan, does not. The fire escape or the emergency egress does not touch the building. It's not part of the building.
Okay,
And it's covered.
okay, so that doesn't
But
just
if
sort
you,
of.
but if you bid
Okay.
for the actual construction cost for the rear main entrance, then you would be required
Okay,
to bring it up to code.
wow.
Brick repointing.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's.
It's, yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of in my,
Nice to have.
yeah. The water supply cost, though, that is it's like the $20,000, only it's listed as $100,000 question. That's an estimate for the permanent disinfection solution. The reserve fund transfer request that you'll be seeing later is for the temporary disinfection. The design cost is large, and that presumption was that they would require us to, drill a new well. So that's a path where we're seemingly obligated to walk down that path, and that ends in a very expensive place. But I don't believe that is an optional thing. There is the state revolving fund, which will provide like 2% to 0% interest loans, which means you're still paying for it.
Yeah.
Just have favorable terms.
If we drill a new well, do we really need the disinfection solution? Because we somehow managed to go without the disinfection solution almost 10, 15 years.
What we would try and bond to, covered by an earlier reserve fund transfer, will be making a proposal to DEP. We're on their watch list at this point here in day 120 of the boil water order. So whatever we do, first we will shop it to DEP to get their blessing. We're not proceeding happily. I hope we don't need to drill a new well, but in effect we're in this regulatory dance.
Can I throw out an idea? Maybe this kind of thing doesn't fly, but I think we have three kind of related big expenses here. One is the temporary solution to disinfect the water. One is the permanent solution to get the clean water supply. And I would even roll in the fixes to the wastewater treatment plant as water-related items. Could we package all that together and propose it as a warrant article at town meeting as, we've got to fix our water supply and processing capability, and we're going to take it on as, potentially even as debt, but say, it's going to be $400,000, $500,000.
Well, it's interesting because the school had submitted, one of their things is water for permanent disinfection since they have a holding tank.
Yeah.
And that is likewise on here for $210,000.
We have ongoing water things that we have to deal with. And instead of trying to hit that piecemeal, we just make, and present it to the town and say, look, here's the deal.
So this will cover downtown.
Right, this will cover both the supply and the treatment for all the buildings downtown. And could we exclude it, take on the debt and exclude it?
Good idea, Bob.
He's not
Something
just a
to
pretty.
Something to think about.
He can make PowerPoints and yes.
For the Park and Rec, by virtue of the fact that they could charge user fees to groups, but have not yet, I am passing on that, but it's good to have a hard estimate.
And couldn't they take it out of their revolving fund?
It could, but it isn't adequate at this time to cover that.
Okay. Thought it was pretty big.
It is, but their camps have gotten way more expensive.
Okay.
I'm sorry, would it got more?
The camp costs have gotten way more expensive since they moved.
Okay.
Bowers Brook erosion control put forward by Concom seems very reasonable.
Okay.
Again, it's a
Is that like a
capital.
Is it a need?
imminent danger thing, like something, or?
Or it's just nice to.
Land acquisition, I'm just carrying this as this is what we're valuing that parcel at. I don't know what the state, should they move forward in their clunky way, will say is the fair assessed value.
Is this that landlocked parcel somewhere near the transfer station?
It is near the playing
Soccer field.
Because this is
Yeah.
basically a parking lot.
Right on the way to
if I'm
Lake
not
Castor.
mistaken. Or will be.
Well, we probably can't park on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and some of the need for parking was because games were scheduled on Saturdays, so games and practices,
Sure.
but they also have Sundays as an option to smooth out that. I also don't know how quickly the legislature will move on this, but given that we have filed our home rule, I don't want it to be lost when, let's say it moves with alacrity again.
Okay.
But I'm not moving on until the legislature does. On the town hall IT, this was an electronic signboard outside the Houghton building as part of the intent of minimizing the time and the collection of letters, the staging of the letters. We're running low on vowels and being able to adjust it though, because we acknowledge there are folks in town who are definitely linked in and following everything on Facebook and the different subgroups of Facebook. Others who subscribe to email alerts, others who, they get their news by driving by the Houghton building.
For sure. So you would have that one on your list?
I would have that one on my list. We skipped over the DPW. For the DPW, I would move for the transfer station cameras.
So, can you explain the logic behind the transfer station cameras?
Some of it is to move into being cameraed in the same way that our other municipal facilities are, which are the DPW facility itself is cameraed. The transfer station is used by both, residents as well as all of our contracted haulers. During snow removal operations, as well as during hauling schedules, they leave that gate unlocked.
Yeah.
They've had enough incidents of folks, don't know if they're Bolton folks, out of Bolton folks, coming in also and dumping illegally. What they want is to have some eyes and visible at the public safety building on the equipment that they have up there. And just to have a few cameras placed. This isn't so much a camera like an automatic gate checking everyone coming in,
Right.
but it would give them another
Yeah.
read on it,
Is this something that someone you would monitor in real time, or you would go back and review the film, the video the next day or something?
It would be however the current municipal building cameras are being monitored, public safety building.
So this is more for theft purposes or for accountability purposes?
Both.
To see who's dropping off and then we
I
can.
would say it's both theft as well as accountability.
I'm trying to think of, I'm curious what our current monitoring is in the sense of, I don't think there's one person permanently at the police station that would be looking at these. It's sort of okay, you get first shift, you watch it, I got second shift, I'll watch it, you get third shift, someone else will watch it. And I'm not sure how effective.
How the security cameras around the municipal buildings are placed or monitored is a valid reason for executive session, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would basically be rolling the transfer station though into the same
Yeah.
scope as the town hall.
How much do you think we're losing every year revenue?
How much is being lost?
Yeah, from people dumping without stickers or whatever.
Don't know.
Is it more than $24,000?
Well, presumably,
It's a good
the
question.
$30,000.
presumably the money for that would last for more than 1 year, so you
Sure.
really can't just compare it.
Right, no, but I mean, is it,
Say it's 5 years, so
Sure.
you're losing
Agree with the
$5,000 a
ROIs.
year. I don't think this is necessarily going to give us a return on the investment.
So, but if you only wanna spend $700,000 and you're spending $591,000 on cars, vehicles,
$100,000.
you have $109,000 left. So what's the first thing on your list that you're doing?
I'm looking at the 591 as being financed over 10 years, because it's an asset with 10 years, over 10 years.
So that's not part of the
At
700,000.
2.9%. So I'm looking at that sliding in at about a 69K a year. Like, we're buying these new, we're not buying them old. We're, unlike our former purchases,
right, so it's at $70K per year is what we have in the
70K
budget.
per year.
So you're
is what I'm
saying
trying
that
to slot in.
you have $631,000 worth of capital expenses that you
Yes.
can actually do, because you're only considering the vehicles to be
$70,000
$70,000 a year. Okay, okay.
Okay, what about like the heaters, the painting and the cesspool?
The heater, the pricing on that seemed insane to both Randy and I when we finally got our pricing back.
For the heaters,
For the brush heaters.
23,000.
Yeah, I think that includes, what they call a submarine.
Yeah.
It includes the propane or natural gas tank, plus 2 heaters.
Now, the painting, to me, 20,000, that seemed fairly reasonable, like to paint a big building.
It's getting there.
It's amazing these days that you say, oh, that's reasonable, $20,000, but.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I know,
And what about the cesspool, like, is that a critical thing, or is it just?
Because he was saying, because they don't drink the water, are they gonna drink water if it's in the tank?
Yeah, right, yeah, I don't know.
Well, water bubbler would be cheaper.
Okay,
Because it cannot get pumped that much, and the pumping is gonna still be what it is.
Yeah.
We're
They
already
are
paying
washing
for
dishes
it.
with it too.
They're
Like,
washing
there's-
dishes with it,
Yeah,
they're just
there's
not
still
drinking.
there's still I think a risk
Yeah,
for exposing themselves to
and it's,
already.
he said he got it tested a couple years ago and there was nothing technically wrong.
So gross.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
I would,
my only concern with that is, it's not just the drinking of the water they're gonna wash out.
Right.
They
which,
gotta
yeah,
clean trucks.
which they're doing now with it,
And
so.
I hesitate to expose them to anything bad.
But he said he tested it, and he said there's not, technically nothing wrong with it. I would like to see another test, I would like another test to see what's
Okay.
going on with it.
I'd go for annual testing.
Oh, I
Said,
100%.
This GD town made me test my well every damn
Oh,
year.
I want them to do something.
yeah, when we bought our new house, we had to test it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that's the new rule, I think, right? Water time.
It's not new, sorry.
Oh, it's not.
I'm a water person.
Oh, good, yeah, good to know.
Good.
Hey, water person.
Hello. I wasn't sure how to interrupt
Oh, that's
and
all right.
or because like I wasn't sure if you like provided public comment and I wanted to do that appropriately.
We can do that.
Okay. I'm assuming the cesspool is in regards to the fire.
What's
chief.
your name?
Hi, I'm Sam.
Hi, Sam. I'm Hannah.
Hi, Hannah. Nice to meet you. I'm Sam Bosley. For those.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait,
Connect the
can
dots right
somebody
quick.
tell me
We've
more
known
about
the
Sam
Bosselays
Bosley?
for years.
What am I missing? Oh, you know
We've
the
known
Bosselays? Okay.
Bosselays for years.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
of them's a firefighter and
Yep, married that one.
So this cesspool's at the DPW, not.
This
Anyway.
is the
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So if I'll just kind of summarize what I think we've covered.
Did we miss fire? Did you talk about fire? There was a fire.
Oh, the rescue tool.
rescue tool.
The fire rescue tool replacement, I'd asked if there was possibility of grants for that.
Okay.
This is the one.
Yeah.
The word on the street I've gotten is that there will likely not be demand for any federal grants.
Okay.
And what about the traffic study? No.
For the new building?
On here, it's a traffic study.
117 pedestrian and traffic study.
Oh, right.
$25,000?
Yeah.
That was building on, something that had been put forward by the Public Ways Safety Committee following the earlier vote on 117, saying that we need to address it. One of the things I'm in discussion with Randy about is Route 117 traffic bottleneck funding, of which there are programs trying to get ahead of the Alta project.
Yeah.
But this was not that. This was sort of
This is them saying the whole thing or?
the whole thing, yeah.
Okay. All right, so we had discussed two DPW trucks that we might finance.
Yep.
We had said transfer station cameras, painting and protecting the envelope of the Houghton building, fixing
Our estimate.
the library roof. I think the electronic signboard was on your list. And then, I guess the powers was on your list. And then the water stuff has to be dealt with, but maybe there's a plan B if we look at it. All right, so I mean, call that 50K, 125K, 225, call that 250. The cameras is another 30, 280. I mean, that's well within your target. All right, so we're not voting on anything tonight. This is just a discussion. We'll have a specific session in February, I think, or March or something, where we will actually, at that point, we'll have solid estimates and we'll have budgeted the numbers and then we'll vote on it.
But with your upcoming schedule, the departments have also asking the department heads if they have about
Right, yes, we'll have a chance with each of the departments to ask for more details on all of these.
And could we get a quote to better understand the HVAC issues in those IT rooms?
Yeah.
So that we can develop a plan for that. And maybe even include the electrical load at the library, depending on who you're getting.
Yeah, did I miss it? The police station server room isn't in here.
I think,
Oh, the
Because that was the second-
remediation.
That was even worse than the library.
well, I think
Well,
with
it
the
was more
library,
obvious.
it says library and PSB.
And PSP.
And
I
I
was
was
gonna
gonna
say,
say,
put
Yeah.
them together.
I'm sorry.
It's the two are combined together, so
Under
that's
line.
22,000 is
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you.
got hit on there.
And PSB, yeah, okay. I'm over.
Anyone have any other questions or comments or anything about the capital plan?
Let's see, there's
Oh, no, you're on the committee, I'm not.
$1 million on the schedule for next year, $1.5 million.
Oh, gosh, next year.
Okay.
I know, we didn't even talk about next year.
Next year, oh, boy.
check the coil cleaning.
Yeah.
It's a next year problem.
Okay, all right, let's see, comments from the public. Sam?
Hi, I'm
Hello.
Sam Huxley. I have a question about the water stuff. Does the appropriation that's currently projected include anybody who is a certified drinking water specialist to run and operate the system? Or is it just for,
You mean for the water supply?
yeah, specifically for the drinking water supply? Yeah.
Well, this is gonna be contracted out, right, to
It would be
engineers? and-
contracted out to either, like, one of the small water supply operators. We would not bring on
Got it.
someone with that.
And I think
They have a license.
the DEP has to bless
They will bless it,
whatever we do.
They
Because
built the
it's
plans,
wastewater.
but
Yes.
I think it's up to the town to deal with the operator themselves. So
Okay.
my question is that going to be a separate item? Because you would need a licensed operator to operate that drinking water system.
Oh, I don't think we've
I thought it was just,
Really
I thought it was just a well and a well pump.
Yeah, we-
operations.
No, it's more complicated than that for public water supply
Yeah,
systems.
but it's currently a public water supply, and I believe we're under contract with Whitewater as the operator.
Okay, so we do have an
We would shop
operator.
it, yeah,
Okay.
we would shop
Oh,
it.
that's right, because we had to pay some of there was a transfer request for Whitewater.
Whitewater, yes.
I wasn't sure if it would change the licensing requirements for that operator. Might be something to look into.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
Good point.
Okay. Good input, thank you.
That's why I came.
Thank you, it was worthwhile.
And then
All
I
information is good.
I did have questions about the the wastewater. What is going on with the wastewater? Is that at the high school?
No, I don't.
That is our wastewater treatment plant. So it serves Sawyer, Emerson, the library, the public safety building in here. We're required to bring it up to a certain standard by the end of December 2026.
Okay.
Some of the things that have been flagged are some of the components of the system. I can ship you if you want to read it in great detail.
I do.
For me, that's
Yes, please.
wonderful. Some of the components of the system are relatively new, and so Randy had asked our operator for the wastewater treatment plant,
Yeah.
do we need to replace these items? The membranes look fine, at least per testing, even though DEP is saying, must have this, and this.
Yeah.
So we'd eat towards compliance a little bit at last year's town meeting of husbanding more funds, but I have that, the full total cost of it, the 214, is sort of the initial estimate of, here's what's needed, you have to replace everything.
Sure.
There is a dialogue.
Yeah.
Do we really have to replace everything? Don't know. I do know we need to have everything in compliance by next December.
Okay.
And that's a mass DEP requirement.
That is, yeah.
Okay, that's helpful. I'm happy to take a look at their report.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Love somebody to look at.
I
love that,
It's great to
yeah.
have another set of eyes.
100%. Can I ask a controversial question?
I I would love to.
Yes.
Okay.
I was just wondering, let's just say, for the sake of argument, hypothetically, that we weren't interested in putting any money into the Houghton building whatsoever, what would be the suggestion of what would happen to this lovely building we're sitting in if we weren't to put money into the envelope? Like, has anybody
In the short term or long term?
both, I guess?
I mean, in the short term, I think we would just deteriorate for another
Yeah.
year, and next year we'd be saying what should we do.
If the select board, and they talked about different approaches for getting public feedback on this, if they were to make the determination, we want to dispose of this, then there's a procurement process for that, for surplus property. The select board could set any conditions that they want any buyers to meet, either in terms of the exterior or, what the building could be offered for. You couldn't have Zumba Gold classes, or you could have a child care center, whatever.
So we would sell it to
And it
somebody
could be
else.
sold, or it could
Could be a nice,
leased.
like accounting office,
Yeah.
or something.
Easy.
Medical, like, I'm thinking of.
Something that
like
doesn't need a lot of parking.
psychiatrists. I don't know, yeah.
Professional
Yeah.
services.
Professional services, so,
Could the town lease it?
yes.
I recommend proceeding with some caution if you're thinking about childcare centers.
Yeah.
Um, just given the age and the infrastructure of the building, you're definitely gonna have lead paint in the infrastructure here. So I would just say proceed with caution.
I'm just saying, the board should set some parameters as to what they want to see, cultural organizations, et cetera.
One thing that's been discussed that I think is a good idea is to consider both this building and the town hall kind of at the same time, because they're sort of.
As somebody
linked.
who works in town hall, we have reached our maximum capacity. We can't put one more body in there. We don't have a break room. We wash our dishes next to the toilet. It's getting, it's just not a great place to work in.
It just seems like if we had to pick one or the other, right? Like the town hall seems like a better building to make a long-term investment in. And maybe there is potential to bring a business in here that could actually diversify the revenue stream as well. Because I know that was sort of like a topic of conversation at the town meeting last year, was diversifying revenue.
I just don't know if the town would have any appetite to pay the kind of money you would need to renovate that building. On top, right after the high school, I think the town would be like, no, thank you. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but.
No, I think it all has to be considered. I think, additional leased space has to be considered, and there's all kinds of things that have to come into this.
I think the tricky thing with the town hall is, for accessibility purposes, you'd need something like a 3-star. Right, and because we don't have a lot of space, as Ninotchka had mentioned, you wouldn't want to put it within the envelope, you'd want to put it outside the envelope, but it would take up a little more space, landing-wise. So you're not expanding your footprint, but you're just paying those square feet are crazy. All these
It's gonna be a topic of discussion, I think, for quite a while. There's a lot to consider. Okay, anyone have any other comments or questions on the capital plan?
I have one more question, speaking of town hall, because I know I was at that town meeting where we bought Taggart property, and part of how it was sold to us that you could build a new town hall there. I don't know if that has ever been discussed, or, do you guys remember that? I mean, that was part of the,
I don't know where the Taggart property is.
on Forbush Mill. When we bought it, part of the selling point to the town was that we eventually could put a town hall up there.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we bought it, it was like, oh no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Because the road to get up there. But again, but if it's gonna cost X million to renovate, then maybe that road infrastructure now becomes more feasible. Maybe it's something we should relook at. I have no idea what the costs are, but that is something that was sold to the town at the time.
Okay. All right, last topic then, for us tonight is a transfer request. So this came in from DPW. The request for $71,250, and this is for the temporary disinfection of water for the public safety building and the library. So this is to relieve them from the boil water restriction that's going on now. Or, is this for the whole year, or I don't know how long this is?
The 71,
Right.
Yeah.
Will this cover us for the year,
it will cover the cost of the temporary disinfection.
or the
Yes.
rest of the year?
Yes, well, they're installing a system, and ideally,
Oh,
they don't
oh, I
be covering us until
Oh, it's
we
a-
implement the permanent
Oh,
disinfection.
I see, it's a,
Yeah, I think it was a little vague
Ongoing.
on that, as long as it looks like we're moving forward, they won't come down hard on us, but
yeah.
we don't know how long.
So this is my little transfer request spreadsheet, which is hard to read, but we've had, one transfer request was for Whitewater, monthly invoice, so there's our water people. But we already transferred 52,000 for this same water issue for the library and public safety building. The request is for 71,250, and which is like exactly, that is all the remaining in the reserve fund, 71,356.
So when the Myra O'Connell stuff comes in,
That's right,
we got nothing.
that's right.
Anything
Or any other little
for the next
bill
6
that
months.
comes in for another $1,000 here or there, we have no mechanism to pay.
That's-
So unfortunately, I don't think we can cover this out of the reserve. What are the other options?
And is this number, like, is it
That,
gonna?
that is, well, that's the real
Okay,
number.
all right.
It's the lowest of the three responses.
And there's no capacity within any of the DPW or the building budgets to cover part of it, at least for now, until we get to town meeting?
There probably isn't, but then something else would have to give, I guess.
Can it wait 6 months until town meeting?
It would not be good. We have borne out our welcome at the Lancaster Police Station. The lack of, water, potable water, for hand washing is just not cool. And we're also trying to show with DEP, as we shop them the permanent solution, that look, we are making progress. It's temporary solution. We're taking it seriously.
So we actually have to make progress.
Yeah.
Is there something else that can be done that costs less than $71,000?
This was to put chlorine or hypochlorite or something?
It's a chlorination system, 2 chlorination systems, right? So there's one at the library and one at the public safety building.
What's special town meeting?
Yeah, because this is the predicament of knowing like, oh man, we're in a bad way.
Right.
But that's all water under the bridge. But in the fall, no, we needed,
Right.
some assurance because we knew that this fix wasn't going to be cheap.
Right. I'm just concerned that if we approve this and use all of our reserve fund money, we have no mechanism to pay
Right, we won't be able to pay
Small
any
bills.
other bills.
that show up
Right.
every year. And then do you call special town meeting to pay like $1,000?
So we replenish the reserve.
I mean, so
Then why not just have a special town meeting now then?
this spreadsheet, goes back a few years, and here are some examples of what we've transferred money for, but they're all, fairly, I know you can't really do it, but they're fairly small amounts. They're a few $1,000s here and there.
Nothing more than $20,000.
Right, and here we are, the prior year.
Almost every one of these, almost all of the expenses are after January 1st.
Right, that's right. No, it's very early in the fiscal year for us to be blowing all of our reserve fund money.
Right.
It is something that needs addressing, but boy,
Could we, I don't think there's a possibility, but could we arrange to pay half now and half in March or something like that, where we have more surety? I mean, I guess we have to agree we're gonna pay it anyway, but at least we can make progress. potentially without.
The tricky thing is, I need to be able to contract,
Yeah.
and in order to sign the contract, I have to have the assurance that the funds are available. I mean, the depleting public buildings maintenance is one approach. What this also means though is in February or thereabouts, what do we do for the existing contracts that we have, say, cleaning?
I think we're in trouble. I don't see how you do it without a town meeting. I really don't, because you use it all tonight, then you have nothing. Legal, what if wages go over? You have to pay wages, but there's no appropriation. Like how?
If we take it out of building maintenance, so that has the advantage, sort of what Craig was getting at, is the other expenses might come in more slowly over time. And maybe we can, if we can get through February, March, then can you just like delay paying some bills until town meeting in May?
To Marie's point, you'd have to know, like, I don't have the budget in front of me, like, is there enough in facilities and DPW to pay? I mean, I'm sure there is, I'm sure they have 75,000 left in roads, I would think.
Do you have the latest expenditure budget?
As a matter of fact. Oh, no, sorry. This is last year's. That's not gonna help us. I can show you what we budgeted, though.
So close, Bob.
Swing and a miss. Okay. So we budgeted. Oh wait, this would be in town building maintenance, right?
Right.
Town buildings budget so we budgeted 214,000 this year. I don't know how much we've already spent.
Let's see. 190, there's 97,000 left. 422. There's 134,000 left in roads. I know that means things can't happen that Randy had anticipated.
Right, but does that make some sense if you spend most of the repairs and maintenance budget now to cover the water treatment? Still have repairs, bills will come in, but maybe they'll come in more slowly. And we can at least get us
Say it
through-
one more time, Bob, maybe it'll be true.
We can at least get through the next couple.
I'm just not sure using the whole reserve fund transfer for one item is the intent.
No,
Sorry.
but I mean, to Randy's point though, highlighting like, we have a lot of water expenses that are going to hit us in the fall. And there was a decision, though, on the part of the board, let's not have a special time, because we don't have a special
I
time.
think they should have done it.
So how long does it take to get a special town meeting to occur?
For a month.
So you would need, the warrant has to be posted for 14 days.
I don't think we should have a special town meeting just for this. I mean, if we're gonna have a special
No, but
town
it-
meeting.
But it
So it should
seems
wrap
like in
up.
the
Can we
spring,
put all of
we
them?
will.
Water items forward? You talked about like bulking all the
Right.
water items forward, could we just have a special town meeting to address all the water items, get all the money you need to move forward with the temporary fix as well as push forward your permanent fix?
We won't know the actual estimate for the permanent though, probably until about January.
Yeah, but January, I mean, you have to post it for 14 days, you're in January anyway.
Maybe end of January.
So I think, what's in front of us is the advisory committee is to vote on this
Right.
particular transfer request.
What the select board does.
Right, what the select board wants to do going forward after that is sort of up to them. So, we're ready to move to a vote on this transfer request.
As long as I don't have to go first.
I think we need a seconder.
Well, right, I'm just, any discussion on? If not, is there a motion to,
Specifically, we're only voting if it comes from the reserve fund, correct?
you're only voting
So,
yes or no to transfer $71,250 from the reserve fund into the warrant? So, is there a motion?
Before you
Well-
make a motion, sir, may I say that as Suzanne Bosley from the general public, I am here to encourage the advisory board to say yes to this.
Oh,
I mean,
damn.
Yes, I think we all recognize the need for.
I'm
water.
just saying, that's what,
Yeah.
no, I'm saying like as the public, like this is why I'm here, like literally this one. I'm just making it, like I know that this is technically a public meeting.
Yeah, no, you're welcome to make a statement,
there's
just,
only so much in the wallet is what we're
I don't
facing.
disagree,
Yeah.
I don't disagree at all.
Conversely, there is an alternative of approving it tonight and requesting that the select board call a special town meeting to replenish the reserve. Just putting that out there.
That's done.
That might go over like a lead balloon after $2 million.
It'd be replenishing the reserve fund potentially from, or free cash.
I think we go like lead balloon.
I think if people know what they're putting money into, you'd have a better buy-in. Personal thoughts on that.
My concern being, by sort of skittering through and taking it from roads and the like, right, people have just dug deep to pay for an override, and unfortunately in the spring, we won't be able to line up repairs because we don't have the money.
right.
Sorry. And everyone travels the roads.
I mean, we have the stabilization fund as well, which we just replenished.
Has to go to town meeting.
Right, we could also have a special
Oh,
town
right.
meeting to move funds from the stabilization fund to cover.
So I think that's probably a little more palatable.
Okay, so, how do we do this? This is what we need someone like Jenny.
A motion to vote.
Do
Either
we
way,
need
you
a
have to vote
motion
yes
to
or no.
vote to approve, or do we need just a motion to vote? Anyone else?
You would make a motion to approve this transfer first.
Oh. Or can we make a motion to not approve the transfer?
And then you need a second.
Okay, is there a motion on the table to
I'll
either
make-
approve or not approve?
I'll make a motion to not approve the transfer.
Disapprove the transfer.
Yep, I'll be unpopular with Sam.
Okay. Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, all, so, I
All in
guess we'll
favor of
do
not.
we'll do a roll call here for the video folks. Those in favor of disapproving this transfer request, and start here and go around. Brian,
Yes.
Craig,
Aye.
Don,
Disapproving, aye.
Aye.
Anna, and I'm a yes as well. Okay, the transfer request is disapproved. Great.
No,
Yeah, we definitely think it needs to happen.
believe me, I very much understand.
Good, good.
Would I be able to, in this, again, your meeting though, as the select board is meeting next week? Because I will go back and tell Randy, and he'll say, I knew I should have come, and I just didn't bring it in. But
I don't think
for
Randy
advice,
would persuade us.
but for advice to the select board, given tonight's disapproval, understanding the implications, does advisory wish for the board to consider a special town meeting or just
Some of it,
figure it out?
Certainly some other funding source.
Yeah,
We think it's a legitimate thing
right,
to do.
we support it, we just think the reserve fund is not the
reserve
right mechanism.
Yeah, too
I
early.
think, right, we talked about a number of options, whether it's a special town meeting that considers all the water issues, a special town meeting to consider taking money from the stabilization fund, or maybe some other ideas thrown around here, but
Free cash.
Yep.
That may some alternatives.
I know this is also gonna be unpopular, but we may also want to, find a way to replenish the advisory fund, since we burned 55 cars already, now not even to the beginning of our usual
Right, right.
demands.
Right, yes, as long as we're doing a special town, yeah, maybe we replenish the reserve fund for the first 50K we already spent. Anyway, I think that's the crux of our issue, is that just the reserve fund.
No, I don't.
Okay, good. All right, so going forward, we have another meeting planned next week by Zoom, where we're gonna actually start the budget review process. We're starting it a little earlier this year because we have less runway, just for whatever reason this year, the way the calendar falls. And then we'll take a break for a few weeks, and then we'll come back in early January and start. Okay? Anyone else have anything?
I just have a question to Sam.
Yeah.
Nothing bad. The library,
Yeah,
the walkway going in, the roof needs to be replaced.
yeah.
They're talking about getting asphalt shingles. Would you care if it was a rubber roof? Would it aesthetically bother you?
Water inside, bad. Water outside,
Good. So a black rubber roof would not bother
I
you,
do not care how you keep the water outside.
as long as it's out. That was,
We're all in agreement.
we were in agreement with you,
Yeah.
but the argument was that people might not aesthetically like it as they go by. Or
I-
walk
I
it.
have to say, I've never noticed.
I
That's
had to show my
component.
wife, I had to show my wife this weekend.
Yeah.
No, that's the roof.
And she did it. There you go.
Yeah, I specifically, you can't,
Yeah.
I don't think you can tell.
think
I
that-
appreciate that they want to keep
Sure.
the,
Yeah, the stuff you could really notice
Yeah,
should be.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and at the end of the
certain
day,
tiles and stuff like that.
I think that by just simply having a rubber roof on there, you leave the option open of like, in the future, if we ever want to put like a metal roof, because like we have free liquid cash, which will never happen. That gives you the option and the leeway to do that, component. But at the end of the day, water inside, bad. Water outside, good. And that's the way that I would view it personally.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
I move the adjourn. I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye. Okay, great, thanks everyone. Thanks for coming out in person. Great.